I'm going to talk about Tasha K's response to her winos complaining that she did not give Kevin Samuels a difficult time when she interviewed him. I'm also going to go ahead and play a snippet from Adella Afadi. She's a young lady. She did a show on Kevin Samuels 3 days ago. It's entitled The Curious Case of Kevin Samuels. Got very good reviews on that particular show. And I'm going to drop the link. She took snippets from his show and she expounded on them very, very well. One of the things that caught my attention about this was when she said that because he's so articulate, it is difficult to decipher between the truths and the things that he says that are very questionable, in my own words. But first of all, let us look at Tasha K's views, and then we will go to Afadi. All right, so let's go.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you why they worship him, okay? I'm gonna tell you what he's done, because I don't think anybody's ever explained it. To understand, for years, straight men have never had a voice. They don't have voices in their house, unless they beat your ass. They don't have voices in media.
So, as I've said on a previous show, I am from the Caribbean and I do shows on my own country, which is Jamaica. But from a cultural standpoint, I do realize that for different reasons, men somehow feel as if they can't speak up and assert their masculinity in their own homes. So basically, Tasha K is speaking to this factor about Kevin Samuels and why he is so popular and respected by men.
Sports, doctor shit, but never concerning relationships. We do hella shows on relationships that have female hosts, men hosts, and they always primarily focus on women.
I agree.
That is the main thing that our advertisers look for here, is because women are the decision makers in the house when it comes to spending, okay?
Absolutely.
And so a lot of times when you see television shows, when you see podcast shows, when you see a lot of advertisers, they're either advertising to women or they're advertising to children. Kevin Samuels has opened up a space that was void, non-existent for men to have a voice. He ain't calling women hoes.
Communication.
Okay? Now, I'm being honest. I know a lot of y'all are going to be upset right now, and I'm going to tell you why you're probably going to get more angry. Is because
So let's put it out there. A point of distinction for Kevin Samuels is how well he communicates without having to use derogatory term or pejorative terms, as he would say.
One male black talk show host that strictly, not Steve Harvey pandered to women, okay, that focused on the voice of a man in a relationship. Now, a lot of people don't like him. That's okay. As another creator, I have to give.
So, because we're going to review something else, let me just say that this is where I have an issue, because we know that there are a lot of men that go around and they argue and they leave a lot of dislikes on the pages of content creators that speak badly about Kevin Samuels or criticize Kevin Samuels. My issue is this, though, that while he speaks on behalf of the men, how does that translate into men now being able to better handle situations with women because of skills they have learned from him?
That Grace, because I don't understand why my audience expected me to drag someone during an interview, and I don't ever drag people during interviews unless you get out of line with me. But for the most part, if you are a wino gang day one member, you cannot ever remember me like dragging a guest. A guest is that, a guest. You're in my house,
which makes
you're
sense.
In my space, I'm gonna treat you with the utmost respect. And yes, I do agree with a lot of his views because I did grow up with men, and this is how they talk. Now, the hard pill to swallow is, I can't believe he's saying those things.
Do understand that as men we have our unique perspectives, and what she's saying about this is very, very true. But to present it out there on the internet like that, you have to expect pushbacks.
Answers when it comes to relationships is hard, but this is how they talk. I go to a barbershop every week, y'all. I'm the only chick sitting up in there. Primarily, they got the best barber in there, see? You know what I'm saying? And I listen to this
all
shit
right,
that
it
they're
looks
saying.
good, Tasha.
My brothers, my cousins, my dads, y'all. All three of my dads are hoes. All three. They'll tell you. Shit, they still hoes.
Some guys never
They in their
quit.
60s, they still hoes. This is how they talk. But because men have gotten used to telling women what they want to hear so that they can have a peaceful place to lay their head, you can't take the outrage. They rate women. They're like kids. They rate them. Oh, she a 6. She about a 3. She about a... This is how you that don't...
I don't care what anybody wants to say. At the end of the day, women are going to get offended by what men say sometimes. I mean, we are different creatures, but it doesn't mean that men should seek to go toe-to-toe with women. There are some times when men don't know when to just step back and ignore the arguments.
For the most part, majority of them think with their dicks. And Kevin Samuels is taking it.
Afadi made the point that while Kevin do give good information to the women who call in, the information that he gives to them is not done in love, out of a place of care or concern. Basically saying that you can see the disdain that he has for some of the callers, the tone that he takes with them, and so on. And that cannot be denied at all. I think that for men who think it is okay to disrespect and speak down to women, or who feel as if, there is victory on their part because now they are seeing another man handle a woman, I think a lot of people are blind to the fact that at the end of the day, this is a show and a presentation. And what happens on a show does not equal what really happens in real life. So, of course, when people reference the fact that, Kevin Samuels has been twice divorced and so is in no position to be able to give the kind of advice that he gives, people do have a point. All right, so anybody can go over to Tasha K's show and they can listen to the rest of what she's said. So we are going to go over to Afadi right now, and she's going to say some things and we can decide how we evaluate that information.
Experiences have shaped his current view of women, and often his choice of wording leads me to believe that he views women as objects. He refers to us as assets.
She is a feminine asset in her simplest form.
He talks about being able to keep women.
A man must want to keep you.
He talks about us as useful assets.
To be an asset, you must be useful. Useful to who? Useful to a man.
He explains how we should be enthusiastic, like a child or a puppy.
She's like a kid or a puppy in her approach to the market. What does that mean? Puppies are always happy to see you. Kids act like, wow, whoa, that's cool, bottled.
And then the dog reference appears again.
Again, you can learn a lot from Dot Man's best friend. Dogs. Why do men love dogs? Because they're loyal.
Mixed in with his misogyny is a bit of pride, which we all have.
So she
but
believes
Kevin's
he's
pride does not
misogynistic.
let women disagree with him. We've all seen Kevin kick women off of his life for interrupting him or, in his eyes, disrespecting him.
See, this always comes down. Listen, no. We know where this goes, man.
But then he goes on to do the exact same thing.
I try to be like, I'll just get a
All right,
salad.
hold on. How many?
Sorry.
And I think it's quite easy actually to discern when somebody's not speaking to you from a place of love. And I think a lot of the women he speaks to, yes, they do get triggered, but it's because they know immediately that he's not speaking to them from a place of love. Even when he is quote unquote teaching them something that might be beneficial, they can tell that it doesn't come from a place of love and it's laced with wanting to be right and being disrespectful. And whilst I think obviously, it's important to speak the truth and tell people how it is, I do think as Christians, and if Kevin is a Christian, everything you say has to come from a place of love. We are supposed to love everybody, and it's very apparent when something is not coming from a place of
All right, so you can go over there because she took the time out to break down just a lot of information that he puts out there, his own words. Now, my contribution to this whole thing is that black women in particular are coming under severe attack by black men. By these guys' own confessions, and I'm speaking about guys in the red pill community, many of them talk about when they were simps, when they dealt with baby mamas, when they dealt with women that did them wrong in the past. These are really common life experiences. So I know that Samuel spoke about future shows that he will have and that he will bring men to come on the shows and that there are people out there getting married and engaged as a result of his information. So on one hand, he's speaking, people will say he's trying to save the black community and save black relationships, but the way we see black men speaking of black women, calling them German Shepherd, and just the things, just dating coaches out here, every time they see somebody that is rich get divorced, they have a narrative to build around their own philosophies and ideas. And we're talking about men who have had failed relationships in the past out here giving advice or to moves that they could make in order to have successful relationships, that it's still better that you try to learn from people who have real life experiences out there. Right? I mean, when you delve into the background information of some of these guys, truly they are not qualified to give a lot of the information. But as our community stays, we love the chaos, we love the drama, we love the fighting, we love the shock value, and that's one thing that Kevin Samuels brings. And as we can see, his show is growing for it. But when it comes down to the real value, and when it comes on to whether people are learning actionable steps, to that they can apply to see better results, that is what we're yet to see. So I am going to go ahead and let you review what Afadi has to say, and you can go ahead and share your own comments. So this is The Steady Show. Thanks for tuning in, and do have a good day.